Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to learn about Reviews and Ratings 101. This is our very first Stamped community webinar. We're really excited to have you here with us today and that you're taking about 30 minutes out of your calendar. So let's hop in and talk about what we're going to talk about and how we're going to spend our time together today. So we are going to spend 30 minutes today. We blocked an hour just in case we had a ton of Q&A questions, but you might get out of there a little bit earlier. We're going to start with some brief introductions. Who am I? Who's the team that's on the call with me? What is Stamped and what is this community that we're hoping to build? And then we're going to get into the meat of it, talking about the value behind reviews and how they can change your engagement and your brand strategy, talk about how you can grow those really strategically, and then wrap them up with a Q&A at the end. So I do want to have just a few housekeeping pieces. We are recording today. So if you have to jump off early, we can always share the recording with you. And my fantastic colleague, Christina, who is a customer success manager here, is watching the chat. So if you have questions, Christina can support you with those. We are going to run a Q&A and answer as many of your questions as possible at the end of this session. So there is a Q&A function in Zoom. You can leave your question there, and then you can also vote on other people's questions. So if you see something that comes up that you want addressed, hop in there and vote, and we'll make sure that we tackle it. All right, so let me introduce myself. My name is Tila Beischer, and I am the community lead here at Stamped. So I'm working with our partners to really establish more of a community, a resource for you as merchants to be able to come to and learn more about e-commerce and performing and growing your business. My background is in program management, in coaching, in community events like this, and I'm also a former customer success manager, so very well versed in helping people find value in the products that they trust. We really want to build this community up so that you have a place to learn best practices and what other merchants are doing. We know that working online can be isolating, so finding ways to connect each other and to network together will allow us to improve our businesses and build our networks. And when we thought about building this space out, the most important thing to us was that we're really highlighting the needs of you as merchants. You are the experts in your space. You're the expert on your business. You're the expert on your vertical, the expert on your products. So showcasing your stories and your learnings will foster a shared practice of excellence for our community. And these are two of our goals that we really want to accomplish for you. We want to help you to learn from other merchants to profitably grow your business and to connect you with other merchants to facilitate peer learning. Today is just me presenting, but at future community events, we are going to hear from industry experts, so integration partners here at Stamped, hopefully some customers too. So if you are ever interested in sharing your story, talking about your business and what you've learned, please reach out to me directly and we can highlight you on a future webinar. I'll also introduce Stamped. So Stamped is the leading brand engagement software for e-commerce merchants looking to grow their reviews and their loyalty programs. We have two products. We have a reviews and ratings product. This is a review management software designed to collect, showcase, and analyze reviews. It integrates with your e-commerce platform, so wherever you're hosting your business. And then we have a loyalty and rewards product. This is a loyalty program software so that you can incentivize purchases and build loyalty and brand engagement. These two products are fully integrated and we can scale with your business as you grow. So we work with brand new startups and we work with really large enterprise customers, and our product can be customized for your needs at the point in your growth journey. Speaking of our integration platforms, these are a few of the platforms that we integrate with. So if you are on Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, wherever you host your store, we are able to integrate with you and become a really valuable extension to that. All right, so now you know who we are and what our expertise is in reviews and ratings. And we've been collecting that expertise since we launched in 2016. And I would really say that we have a lot of calculable impact to understand the value of reviews. And understanding the value of a review allows you to measure something that's been more traditionally ephemeral or intangible, this concept of trust. And that's really what a review tackles. It's how do we measure trust and impact that so that we can build engagement with our current customers and our future customers to impact potential sales and potential revenue too. We also know that right now there is a rising trend in online shopping. We've seen this boom over the past couple of years. It started to taper off a little bit, but isn't going anywhere. And so with so many people switching to online shopping, how do we replace that desire to hold a product in your hands or to see it physically before purchasing it? And that's really where reviews come into place. So right now, only 88% of businesses are actually measuring their business's engagement or trust. So how much do my customers trust that the product that I'm selling is what I say it is? Only 88% of people are measuring that. So for you to take that opportunity and start measuring and improving it, it gives you a competitive advantage in a crowded online marketplace. And thinking about trust, I want to highlight two different types that reviews can impact. So there's kind of two types of reviews and two types of trust that we want to keep in mind. And the first one is transactional trust. This is the trust that a certain product that you're selling is what you say it is. And this comes back to the idea of the brick and mortar versus the online store. When you're shopping in a physical store, you can look at the object, you can touch it, you can see what it is. Whereas when you're shopping online, you rely heavily on product pictures, product description, and product reviews. So being able to target some of this uncertainty that a potential customer might feel around a specific transaction can increase your cost of acquisition. You're able to sell more of those. And some metrics around, am I hitting my numbers around transactional trust? How am I measuring my impact on the strategies that I'm putting in place here by including more reviews on my transactions? Is to look at your review ratings. Are those going up over time? Am I selling more products as I put more reviews on that specific product page? You can start measuring that. The other type of trust to really think about is a system trust. And this is a broader kind of engagement with online shopping in general. And this is related to how much does someone or a potential customer trust online shopping, and how much does a potential customer trust your business in general. And this is all tied to positive reviews or community feedback on your specific business. The way that a lot of merchants will measure this is with an NPS or a seller rating score. So reviews are the most effective way to tackle both of those types. You want product reviews and you want seller reviews as well. Once you're able to gather those and start leveraging them, you're able to really showcase that trust and start gathering more customers. So let's chat a little bit about some core stats for reviews and ratings. I think these are fascinating for you to keep in mind with your business growth. So 354% is the conversion impact that one review can have on a product page. So picture your product pages right now, and if you do or don't have reviews on them, we have both current Stamped customers and potential future Stamped customers on the call with us today. So think about your reviews. Do you have one? Do you have two? What's the potential conversion impact of that? The other piece to keep in mind, and I think this is perhaps a little bit lower. I would suspect it's higher, but as of 2021, the research shows that 89% of customers read at least 2 reviews before making an online purchase. I'm guessing that's more in the high 90s, but we'll have to see when the results come out for 2022. And 48%, so about half of all online shopping or all e-commerce purchases start in a search engine like in Google. So these really clearly speak to the impact on your revenue that including reviews can have. So let's build up some core language and functions. Talk about reviews versus ratings. I think these are two slightly different things that are both important to your overall strategy. So reviews are the text, the photos, or the video testimonials that a customer submits sharing their experience about a product or a service that they purchased. We often call this user-generated content. This is, again, something that the consumer or the customer writes up, takes a picture of, shares a video of. And then the ratings accompany a review. They're a numeric assignment represented by stars of how satisfied the customer was with the purchase on a scale of 1 to 5. The industry standard way to gather reviews is by using a post-purchase review request email. So this is an email that is automatically delivered to a customer after X amount of time after the purchase. And that time is really important. The review request wants to know how did the product work for them and what is their rating. So you're gathering both the rating and the review in it. And when we think about that timing, we want to think about what type of product that we're selling. So if I'm selling a consumable good, something like food or a beauty product, something that I know that as soon as my customer receives it, they're going to experience it and be able to speak to the value of it, I can send my review request in a shorter period of time. So maybe I send it 1 week after the customer receives the product. The other thing that you'll want to consider too is if it's a consumable good that takes a longer amount of time to see value. So maybe it is a vitamin or a supplement, and you want to give people a few weeks to a month to see the value before they review it. So you're going to keep in mind what type of goods or what types of products am I selling and how long does it take to see value and to speak to value. And that will help you decide when to send those emails out. The other thing to keep in mind is the industry standard for response rate to these emails. So on average, a review request email gets 1 to 3% replies or responses. On average for stamped customers, a review request email gets 6 to 8% responses. That's a really big difference and a really big jump. And it's why we wanted to host this webinar today to share with you exactly how people are boosting up that number. So here is what we've learned from our community, from our merchants who have done that work to increase their response numbers. And here are the specific strategies that they implement. So the first is personalization. The review request email asks the customer to share, how did this impact you or how did this perform? And if you can really personalize that content using things like variables to include their first name, using things like how did this work for you or did you like this product, then you start to see a larger response rate. People want to see personalization in a really broad market. Right now, it's easy to feel lost. And so the more personalization that you can offer, the more that people are able to respond to that and feel more connected to your brand. You can also think about personalization in the context of making people feel a part of a community. So please share your response or please share your review so that others can learn from your experience. Or share your review to highlight with our community. That really allows people to see that there is social value in building trust with this product so that others can learn from it too. All right, so the second strategy is all about customization. And this is really key to anything that you're doing with your online store. And this is to make sure that you're building a consistent brand experience. So you want to make sure that your emails have the appropriate logo, that the colors are set up to match, that all of your calls to action, that the names tied to them are all related to your brand. And I'll give you a really good example of an easy way to make this more impactful. And that is to think about who the email is being sent from. So if you're using a review request tool, so for example, if you're using Stamped, you are able to customize who the email comes from. Think about the response rate that you might get if you send an email to your customers from Stamped. They likely don't know who Stamped is, versus if you send that email to look like it's coming from you, they know who you are, so they're more likely to open that. The next strategy is around clarity in your calls to action. So a call to action is what behavior are you expecting or what behavior should the recipient of an email perform because of the email? And what you want is one single call to action per email. Think about the invite that we sent to this webinar. The only thing that we asked was that you register for the webinar. When you're sending your review request, the only thing that you want to ask is for the review. You also want to be really clear about that in the subject line and in the placing of the ask on the email. So think about an email that you send that might have 3 or 4 paragraphs of content, and then you have the ask down at the very bottom. What you're asking is for someone to scroll through and read maybe 30, 60 seconds before they actually complete the review. If you switch that and you have the ask up at the very top, they're more likely to complete it. And this is related to kind of a marketing theory that you could take in mind and take back with you on your work. And that's thinking all about cognitive load. So how heavy is the ask that you're sending to someone who receives some of your materials? So if you're thinking about sending out a review request email, how heavy is the ask? You want it to feel light and simple for your customers so that you can incentivize more of them to participate and to complete that ask, which is to submit the review. So the last strategy is to consider multiple channels. And this is really important. We talked about review request emails as the industry standard, but we are seeing that shift in trends as we think about multi-channel marketing for our businesses. So think about your social media challenges. You likely use Facebook, so you probably have Messenger as an opportunity to talk with your customers. You might use SMS. Being able to leverage these different channels to send out review requests allows you to meet your customers where they are at. So if you have a customer who prefers using Facebook versus a customer who prefers using email, you can meet both of them in their preferred means for communication. So here's an example of a really great review request from one of our customers, and I want to point out why this is great. So first, I chose to include one of the Messenger review requests so that you can see what that looks like. And you can see it's a really simple, it's a very clear call to action, very clear rating request, and it is also personalized. So it includes a variable that allows the request to include the customer's name. All right, so I'm going to share one final strategy with you to enhance that review email request response rate, and that is to use an in-form embedded email. This is one of the differentiators at Stamped and what I think is really related to that higher review request response rate. This is an email that has the review request embedded in it so that the customer is able to submit it without leaving their email client. So imagine you receive an email, you click on it and it asks you to submit a review. You click on submit review and it links you to another page where you have to submit it and do another click. You're asking people to complete multiple steps and to add more time to that ask. And so thinking of that concept of cognitive load again, the simpler that you can keep it, just complete this email or complete the review within this email without even leaving this page, makes it really light and allows for more people to submit. All right, so that's everything that we're going to share about increasing the volume of reviews that you collect. I want to move now into talking about showcasing reviews. So there's really two steps to gathering and improving your review management strategy. First is collecting them, and then is showcasing them. And so when it comes to showcasing them, this is all about how are you showing these on your site? And there's different ways to do that. In Stamped, we have a lot of different widgets that you can use. You can apply it to a product page. You can have a landing page on your site. You can push them out to social media. But knowing that having just one review on your product page will increase your conversion or can increase your conversion by 354%. The first strategy that you want to think about is customizing your reviews so that they match your site's branding. Thinking about that consistent experience, this is a part of your shopping experience with us. Think about how can you change the colors, the logos, all of these to look like they are embedded naturally on your product pages. The second strategy is really important. It's to include all of your reviews with moderation clause in mind. And here's a question that we get asked all the time. It's, do I include 1- and 2-star reviews on my product pages? And ultimately that choice is up to you, but what we would recommend to you is that you are leaving those on as a way to build trust. And what I mean by that is that when you have a customer who goes and views a page with only 5-star reviews, they may start questioning that systemic trust of, is the information being represented to me accurate to the information as it is? By including those lower reviews on the page, you're able to show, actually, yes, we have a broad range of experience, and we're able to demonstrate that to you and how we responded to it really well. You don't want to be perceived as gaming the system at all. That's really important when you're thinking about showcasing those reviews on your site. And responding is one of the next steps. It's that you are responding to reviews, be them positive or negative, to thank people for their time and to address any challenges that come up. You can display this on your product pages and on your review pages so that people are able to see, hey, this brand is really listening and communicating with their customers. That's another way to build not just that transactional trust, but that system trust. So I have trust in the product because the reviews being represented here are really accurate. And I have trust in the brand because they are really listening to people and they're demonstrating that they're listening to people. The final strategy is to put your reviews in multiple places. So just like we want to ask for them in multiple channels, we want to share them in multiple places. And this is where your reviews can become a bit of a marketing strategy for you. So you can include them in your social media channels or in any paid advertising that you're doing as a way to leverage that user-generated content and to build trust with an audience who isn't necessarily coming from your landing page. And think about how many people follow you on social media versus how many people might land on a specific product page. If you're able to enhance the scope of that audience, then you're able to enhance the scope of the trust that the review is giving you. This can really impact your market impact, so you can start measuring a wider volume of people. I'm going to add one bonus tip that isn't included on this slide, but I think is really important, and that is to make sure that your reviews are SEO optimized. So we know that 48% of all online shopping starts with a search in a search engine. So you want to make sure that all of your reviews are actually findable via a search engine. So whatever tool that you are using, you want to make sure that all your reviews are SEO optimized. Stamped is, and I will share that we also have a very exciting Google integration launching in the next couple of days. So keep your eyes open for that. Here's an example of a review page from one of our customers. This is Pastries. We just recently did a case study on how they use reviews. And this is a really great example of a product page review. So you can see they have for this product a overall star rating, so 4.8 based on 1.85. They left in those lower ratings that they got as a way to demonstrate that whole trust in the brand. All of it is branded according to their colors. They have their logo here, and they are responding to the different comments too. That's a really valuable way, again, to demonstrate that two-way listening. All right, so those were the highlights of improving your review management strategy. Again, your key takeaways are the two types of trust. So keep in mind, I can use reviews to impact both that transactional trust, boosting the amount of products that I can sell, and the system trust, boosting the amount of people who trust me as a reliable seller. Both really important to building your brand engagement. The second is those metrics around reviews impacting trust. 354% conversion is the impact that one product review can have, and when included on a product page. Then we have those strategies to collect more reviews and the strategies to showcase the reviews. We will follow up with the recording and with a short summary of all of those so that you can noodle them over and really action them. But we are going to move into a Q&A now. I see that there are some questions in the chat. I'm going to give just 1 minute to allow for folks to add a couple more questions if they would like, and to vote on any if you'd like to, and then we can hop in and start responding. All right, we have questions in the chat too. Perfect. Looks like Christina's been moderating the chat pretty well. All right, so I'm going to hop into the Q&A and start responding to these, and then I will move into the chat too. So Q&A, it looks like you showed an example of sending review request in Facebook Messenger. How do we implement that? That's really simple, and we can follow up with the resource of how to do that. It does depend on which plan that you're using with Stamped in order to have access to that. So I'll just make sure that I include that in the follow-up email. How do we include the Facebook Messenger review requests? Perfect. The next question is, we sell plain and custom products. Can you schedule the review request email differently per product since custom takes longer than plain? Yes, you can send multiple review requests depending on the type of product that you are selling. So you can have different emails. Another way that you could use that multiple product emails or multiple review request emails is you could do some A/B testing. So maybe I want to see how this content performs versus how this content performs in terms of gathering the requests. And then how do I decide which one to send out moving forward? All right. Next question is around, if we want to send out review requests via social media, is it possible to do that through WeChat? Not currently with Stamped. Our integration is with Facebook Messenger and with SMS, but we can absolutely take that back to our product team. All right, Elizabeth asks, how do I sign up for an onboarding session? So this is a great question. You can reach out to our team at help@stamp.io and we can get you set up with that. Awesome. So a great question here. What's the best practice for review request length? You want to keep it really short and down to just a few lines. So if you're thinking about your subject line for the length of that, you want it to be visible on any device. So think about less than 50 characters. When you're thinking about your review request itself, you want to have just a few lines or even just one line asking the question before the actual review request itself. The shorter that you can keep that content, the less reading that the customer has to do before they submit the review, and the more likely that they are to complete that review. All right, perfect. So we don't have enough time to dig into all of these today. I went through a few in the Q&A and I'm going to go through a few in the chat. We will export these and answer these questions in the follow-up email. So you will get a response even if we don't tackle it right now. Awesome. Oh, I see a great one in here. I have just recently migrated my store to Shopify. Is there a way to contact past purchasers for a review? There is a way to import your previous reviews from whatever your previous store was. So you can export those as a CSV if you still have access to that. So any past reviews that you had, and you can import them to Stamped. That way you're not losing any of that valuable review currency. Another question here, how does it impact the response rate if we send our emails in Klaviyo? So this is an integration that Stamped has. Stamped and Klaviyo have an integration to send your review requests through Klaviyo. And you can actually see more through that integration because you likely have different strategies set up in Klaviyo that you can really be leveraging. All right, perfect. PJ, follow up to the question, my previous platform did not have reviews, so I have none to import. Fantastic. So this might be something that Christina can tackle in the chat or in the follow-up. I'm not sure if we can reach out to previous purchasers from another platform, but we can find out and we'll follow up. Perfect. Ruth Ann, thoughts on the value of Google Seller Ratings? Keep an eye out for that integration that we're launching very soon. Google Seller Ratings have statistics that they can increase your click-through rate just through your Google Ads by 10% alone. So keep an eye out for that. All righty. So I wish that we had time to get through every question. Again, we will follow up in an email with a response to all of these questions and be able to really support you with these. I really want to thank you for your time today and for spending the time to learn a little bit about reviews and ratings, for joining our very first community kickoff event. We are thrilled that we had you today. We had over 100 people join us, and we can absolutely have more of these events in the future. The best way to continue learning from us is to follow us on social media. So follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and then we also have a LinkedIn page too. Just saw another question roll in. We'll be doing one of these about loyalty. Yes, we will be doing one of these about loyalty. And again, if you are really interested in participating in a webinar in the future, if you think you have a really valuable story to share, we really want to hear from you. So reach out to me and I can get that all set up. If you want a demo of Stamped, you can log into our site. We do have a demo page. We'll include that in the follow-up. And if you need support getting anything set up, we have a fantastic customer advocate team that you can reach at help@stamp.io. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time today. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your afternoon or morning, wherever you are in the world. And thanks again. Take care.